Hello everyone and welcome to Witches of the Moon. My name is Jen and I am your Tuesday hostess. Now this week you'll see that you're not seeing me on camera again, and no, I'm not in the Bahamas. I'm actually at home, but I wanted to just do something a little different. This week's topic is all about our favorite herbs and crystals. And while I have many favorites that I use from time to time, one of my all-time favorite crystals is a crystal quartz, as you can see based on what's on this altar. There is a lot of crystal quartz and it's something that I use a lot. I use crystal quartz in grids. I use them in my little mojo bag, as you can see over there, the little brown bag sitting in front of the Buddha. That is actually from one of my sisters. Her name is Autumn, and she gifted that to me, and I absolutely love it. I do have crystals in there, and there are herbs and other little things that I take with me whenever I'm traveling or whenever I'm on an investigation. So, and there is a crystal quartz in there as well. So that's one of my favorite crystals. I mean, some of my other favorite crystals, as you can see, there's the lapis, there is the fire quartz, which, or fire agate, which really I think is a quartz in itself, but it's a fire agate, and it's actually connected to the zodiac sign of Aries, which I'm definitely in Aries. And so that's another one of my favorite crystals. Of course, like I said, I love all crystals, but I tend to be drawn to a crystal quartz a lot more. So some of the herbs that I like to use, well, there's quite a few herbs. I mean, I love all different types of herbs. It really just depends on what I'm doing. But one of the herbs that I tend to use the most is Damiana. And Damiana I use for you know, a few different things. One, I use as an offering in place of tobacco. I use it as a form of yeah, just an offering to my guides that I work with, especially my Native American guides. So I use it as an offering, but I also use it as a way to kind of keep me balanced, because I have a tendency to work more in my upper chakras than I do in my lower chakras. So it's an everyday thing to keep both of those balanced for me and to keep those connected. And I think the reason why I spend more time in my upper chakras is basically because I am a medium and I spend a lot of time doing readings and just that kind of thing. So I teach a lot, I mentor a lot, and it all has to do with psychic abilities and mediumship. And that's one of the things that I like to use that for. One of the other things that I like to use a lot is cinnamon. And cinnamon to me is fire, and it's something that's quick, it's something that's fast. And it's something that I also like to have in my tea. I have a cinnamon tea that I absolutely love, and I like to have that right before I'm doing any kind of divination work, whether I'm doing any kind of readings. That's one of my go-tos. I mean, I have different go-to teas as well. I mean, there's several different teas. I love drinking tea, but cinnamon is one of my favorites. Now, it can also be used for protection, which is something that I do use it for. Again, that's something that would go in my mojo bag, and it's also something that can be used in money spells, especially for something quick and fast, you know, that kind of thing. So, because as we know, fire can be a slow burning, but it can also be a quick burning thing. So I like to incorporate those as well. The other herb that I like to use, and I don't know if you would necessarily call it an herb. I mean, sage is more like a spice, but what I like to use is white sage, and it's something that I burn like every single day. I have a bundle downstairs sitting on my desk that I burn every single day. several times a day right before I'm doing readings or anything else. So white sage is another thing that I like to use on a daily basis, and that really just not only cleanses my space, but it also gets me into the mind. It sort of lets me know, hey, we're doing readings, we're doing some kind of work. But I don't just use it for readings. Sage really just clears the space and opens the doorway, I guess, is a good way to explain it. Almost like the Damiana, and all of them incorporated together really does well for me. Now, I don't smoke Damiana, although you can, but what I like to do also with Damiana, the same as white sage, is I like to burn that as almost like an incense. You can get the little charcoal disc, which I do have right here. So I use that, and I burn that, and it's, I don't know, it's something that I like to do. Cinnamon is another thing that you can use in different things to kind of open the doorway a little bit, I think, at least for me anyways. So yeah, that's kind of what I have. Those are my favorites. Those are my go-tos. You know, crystal quartz basically can be used for anything and everything. It's almost like a universal type of crystal, and I think that's why I gravitate to that so much, is because no matter what I'm doing, I can use it for anything and everything, whether I'm doing readings, whether I'm doing any kind of magic, any kind of protection magic or money magic, or whatever it happens to be that I'm doing. That is for me an all-purpose crystal. And I know everybody has their own favorite, you know, all-purpose crystal, but for me, it's a crystal quartz. Every time, like I said, as you see from this, there's tons of crystal quartz, and that's not even all of the crystal quartz that I own. I have crystal quartz sitting everywhere. It doesn't matter where we go, I'm always purchasing more crystal quartz. And so I find that kind of interesting. And something else I wanted to share with you when it comes to crystals. Julie and I were at a crystal shop, and the lady asked someone else if she knew what her, I don't know exactly the word she used, but what she meant was the crystal that you go to all the time. Like you could have, like I have a lot of crystal quartz, but there's the one crystal that I would go to every single time, no matter what. And that is the a very specific crystal. Your all-purpose, I'm not sure if it's all-purpose. Anyway, she called it a specific thing. So do you have a crystal, even though you have a ton of it, is there one specific crystal that you keep going back to time and time and time again? No matter if you buy 100 different pieces of the same kind of crystal, you go back to that same type one. You go back to that same crystal. Do you have one of those? If so, I would love to hear what that crystal is, and what your favorite crystal is, and what your favorite herb is. What's your combination of things that you use? Post those down in the comments. I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts are and what you connect to the most. So thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next video for next week. Have a great week. Bye.